Hello and welcome to Indian Standard Time. I am Akhilesh Suman and my guest of honor today is Archil Dzuliashvili, Excellency the Ambassador of Georgia to India. Ambassador Dzuliashvili is not only the Ambassador of India, but he also holds the charge of his embassies in Bangladesh, in Maldives, in Nepal, and also in Thailand. Welcome, Ambassador. Welcome to Rajya Sabha Television.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ambassador, you are holding the charge of so many embassies in Corona times. So how do you manage your work in these times when physical presence is very difficult?
Yeah, physical present is very difficult. You're right. It's very well said. But in the same time, we are using different type of communications, like
Right,
we are now. Yeah, talking. So we are in constant, in touch with our citizens, stranded, and with the concerned authorities. So we are communicating through different means of the communication, modern communication.
right. Ambassador, your country is strategically very important for us.
Yeah.
You are flanked by Russia and Turkey and also Black Sea. But beyond that, you are also one of the very few countries in the world who has contained the menace of coronavirus in early stages. So how did you manage the coronavirus menace? What were the preparations and how did you do it so early?
Thank you very much. It's a very good question. First of all, let me say that my country, had many tough times
Right,
since broke of the Soviet Union
right,
and the collapse. So, many citizens, I feel, they were like willing to make some sacrifices, like to accept the travel bans and different bans and I would say that we are used to it, like pulling together in a tough
right.
times, in a tough time. So, well, this was a main thing, how actually we stand up against the virus, and society was united to defeat the virus.
So you mean to say that your country is always ready for emergencies and you were ready mentally?
Yeah, we're ready because we used to it, during
Right.
many times, during the centuries basically, and of course the recent history. We are always, putting together, and we are also always uniting ourselves when the crisis is coming.
So what
Uh,
is the situation now of corona in your country?
Crisis for everybody. Nobody, I guess, expected that it's going to bring this type of challenges. It's
Right.
quite difficult times for all of us. Um, Georgia, as you know, it was praised also for fight the coronavirus from the World Health Organization. They gave it a very positive assessment for
Right.
even recently, our president had a telephone conversation and with the director general, and it was underlined our cooperation. And
Right.
they thanked us, basically, thanked Georgia for the measures taken by the government
Mm.
actually to fight the coronavirus. And all at the same time, of course, the technical assistance, expert assistance is very important to exchange our views. It's a like common challenge, and we should
Right.
put ourselves together. So I would say it's a common threat to the humanity. So we should be united in that. And I think that is what we are doing, basically. Uh,
Right. Right. So what is the situation? What are the numbers in your country? Like if we are counting numbers every day. So what is the number in your country?
so first corona case was detected on 26th of February.
26th of
Uh,
February. Okay.
and the fight basically against the corona began on 28th of January. Basically after a month. Yeah,
Okay.
after the first when it's detected. And
Okay.
after you know that 14th of March was introduced restrictions imposed, Georgian borders were closed, air land traffic was closed, and it was a 14 mandatory quarantine where I was coming back to Georgian citizens. So we started the evacuation process of our citizens also, to repatriation citizens from Europe mainly and from
Right.
part of the world. and many thousands of Georgians we managed to bring back home. Actually, what India is doing also. So
Right.
initial numbers reached 701, more than 700.
Okay.
Currently 12, we have 12 dead, died, for this from the coronavirus, and today we have only 457. So it's
Oh,
like a total decrease in numbers. But
the-
still, I would say that around 4,000 people they are kept in the 14 days mandatory quarantine. Yeah, 14 days is mandatory in Georgia.
so are
So
you are you doing all the required testing and you are using all the PPEs in your country?
sorry.
Are you using all the required testing? Like, testing is considered to be very important in any country to
Yeah,
understand the menace. So are you
testing.
using it?
Yes, testing is there, but 14 days mandatory quarantine is there also. Yeah,
Okay.
continues. Even though the government decided from May 22 not to extend, uh,
Okay.
yes, the emergency situation, but what I see and receiving the news, the agency decided to actually lift the restrictions gradually.
Okay.
Gradually, yes, and it will be taken, of course, in account the public health officials what they were advised.
So
Yeah,
Korea is quite a beautiful country and liberal democracy is there.
exactly.
So where your people disciplined enough not to go outside, not to break the lockdown? What was your experience?
Yeah, well, for me it was unusual also when I was looking at my country how people were disciplined. So
Right.
as I said earlier, I mentioned earlier, the people they understand the threat, and what I said in difficult, challenging times we are pulling ourselves together, and also we have a very important laboratory in Georgia, so
Yeah.
it's also the key center for testing. So
Okay.
actually, we're doing the testing there in the laboratory. Yeah, it's
So,
called the Luger
so,
Laboratory in
so
the
how how
institute.
how do you feel, Excellency? How did this virus reach Georgia? Because China is not at your border. So is it coming from Europe side or how is it coming to your country?
So I think it was coming from all sides.
All sides.
From all sides, yeah, from all sides. Because Georgia is a transiting hub. We have many travelers coming and going. We have many tourists. So you never know from where it comes exactly.
Hmm.
So it's
Hmm.
came from all sides. Because even how it's spreading, it's very difficult to know, I think. Because sometimes you don't believe that it can spread so fast and touch so many things, and so many places once.
Right, it's a really strange
But
situation, and in
what,
between,
what
some
I'm
countries are
saying,
asking for a probe
if
in the
you,
genesis of this virus, and then how it could not be stopped from spreading. WHO is in question. So, what is the stand of your country on this issue?
but I think the first we should cope emotionally. We have to have the feeling of stability and keep ourselves focused. We have
Okay,
to follow the guidelines. Yeah, the
yeah,
guidelines of the people and agencies. They know the situation. And with this united force, we can defeat the virus. And of course, I think that we should not have any fear or panic. It shouldn't be there. Yeah. And I think that what I said that we have the already worldwide consensus that we have to tackle and defeat this common threat to humanity. So I mean this is very important. In Georgia, for example, was a special website allocated for that, and that people were giving that was giving the information to the people on the current situation, what is the measures for the prevention, and what is the spread, and the recommendations is very important. So I think this is all together should come together. So I mean to actually have the consensus on that.
yeah, sir. But what I am trying to ask you, the WHO is in question. And
Yes.
when WHO is in question, the question of transparency in WHO decision making, WHO prescription to the world, this is also in question. And there is question about the genesis of the virus also. So what you think that there should be a probe into all these issues or what?
Well, I think it's up to the experts to decide. And also there are the certain bodies working on this direction.
Okay,
Yes, but of course, as I said, that we have all recommendations from the organization and well coordinating and taking the actually essential advices, yeah, for that. Because as I said, that we have to fight together against that.
right, right. So if we have to fight together, what type of cooperation you are taking or you are making to the world?
There were some guidelines. Yes,
Uh,
yes, there were some guidelines how to fight, how to protect the health and the
right.
lives of the citizens. It's very
Mm.
important. But we shouldn't forget that we have to think about to save our economies also.
Right. So just
Every
I wanted to
country-
ask one thing before that.
yeah.
What type of cooperation did you get from India in this context, like while fighting the coronavirus or evacuation of people from India to Georgia? Did you get any cooperation from India?
Of course, we had very strong cooperation, and
Hmm.
I would say the support and assistance, especially from the Minister of External Affairs of India and
Right.
governmental bodies. In the difficult times, when the embassy had the very difficult, sometimes impossible task to fulfill, the helping hand and the strong support from the receiving state is very important, crucial.
So
This
what
is
was that helping hand? I heard something that.
personal. What I mean by that, I mean that as you know, of course, I mean there are many tourists around and different states, and we are on a daily basis coordinating with the ministry to evacuate our citizens to repatriate back to Georgia. Some of them, basically, I would say that they are very happy here. They feel excellent, but in the
Right.
same sometimes it's a psychological thing. You miss your family. So
I
when
know.
it's the lockdown lasts long, so after you think you want, it's time come to leave, right? So I mean, when is no flight, no connection, no all movement is restricted. So this is a special important role is coming from the Indian government and the Indian agencies and the ministries. So this is what I mean by that.
I
So
have heard one incident of death of your sailor and how India worked with that. So what is that incident and what happened in that?
Yeah, it is a very sad story
Right,
about a Georgian sailor, second officer, and he
right.
was on the vessel when unfortunately he passed away. But it was not linked to the coronavirus, and it happened actually 2 months ago.
Right,
The most in February, basically, more
right.
than once. So basically, no any port on a way of the vessel received
Okay,
the body to send back to Georgia. Uh,
okay,
so it was very difficult task for us. And
okay.
when the vessel was reaching India, Chile asked the Ministry of External Affairs. This is what I was saying. The helping
Uh,
hand is exactly the
uh,
right wording for that. So this hand was extended to me. So this, as I said, and I'm always saying, in all languages there is a good saying, right? Who is friend in need, he is friend indeed. Yeah,
right.
it's our language, in your language, in every language. So this is a real friendship. This is a real friendship. This is a real support and real understanding of your grief and the grief of the family itself, who was desperately waiting her son, beloved son, and the mortal remains of the beloved son to be repatriated and taken back to Georgia. So this was a real help. Uh, I mean, you imagine. I mean, the vessel
Right.
coming to the port, and after there is, from Gujarat port to Mumbai by car, and
Okay,
after the special flight should be found, the cargo flight. So it
okay.
was a very long procedure, but it was done in a fantastic way
So
and very
flight, which was the flight, Indian flight or Georgian flight?
cargo flight. Cargo flights, they're still flying.
Okay, okay, okay,
Percent by the cargo flight.
okay, okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is one of the sad story, but in the same time, which is proves the what kind of relations or the level of relations and interaction and friendship we have with the Indian side. So once again, I want to actually express my heartfelt thanks
On this note, Ambassador, I have also learned that India and Georgia share quite interesting history, cultural ties, historical ties. So, can you just throw some light on the relationship between India and Georgia in historical times?
So the first, what I will start always the magnificent poetic masterpiece. It's a night in the tiger skin. So it's written by the Georgian poet, and it illustrates how deep rooted a strong historical cooperation we had. So when I came first, it was 3 years ago here to India. It's what is came to my mind that the first what I started to search to find this book was translated in the Indian languages and especially Hindi language or not.
Right.
So after the many searches, I found out that there were many writers from Georgian side, translators from Indian side. They tried to translate the book. I mean, I'm talking from early 70s and 60s, but unfortunately, I could not find this. And after we decided actually to translate the book here, so I was in touch with the Minister of External Affairs again, and with the famous Yatra books, and finally, actually, we came to the solution, and we managed to translate this masterpiece. And what is the importance of this poem?
Right.
That one of the main princes is coming from India, and this poem talks about the humanistic ideas, dignity, love, friendship, courage, all together. So it's directly related to India. So you understand what kind of relations we had. Even our epic poem, "The Night in the Panthe's Kings," was dedicated to India and in our relation that's happened in the 12th century. So this is one of the great examples, and many historical examples what we have in our interaction, because trade was going there always, thousands of years.
Right.
Indian travelers, Georgian travelers. So what we say always that we want to just to bring the new touch of this cooperation. We are not going to invent something new. We are going to put a new technologies.
Right.
This is what we are trying, and this is what my task is here also.
But I have heard that Aurangzeb's wife was also from Georgia. Is it true?
Also, yes, yeah, of course, yeah, and many stories we have. Yeah.
Right. So how Georgians find India? Georgia is not very close to India, not very close geographically, but how did they find India?
Well, it is not far, I would say. well, well you see that the old times Georgian travelers were coming. It's a Caucasus region. They were crossing Iran and coming directly to India and entering. Right?
Okay.
Yeah. So now, if you take the flight, it takes only 4 hours between our capitals. Basically, now the Air India will fly to Georgia to repatriate the Indian citizens.
Right.
It will be on May 27. It's a first ever flight taken by Air India to Georgia. It's a very symbolic.
So what Indians are doing in Georgia? Are they in good numbers there?
We have, as you know, that we have many students. From India, we have around 7,000 students.
Okay.
We are developing very good cooperation. We have investments in energy and hydropower, such as
Right.
we had very attractive tourist destinations, and we have number of tourists from India visiting Georgia, and it's increasing year by year.
Okay.
Also, we have many Bollywood movies, and they're able to go there. It's very important also in our cooperation, because you have a beautiful sceneries, nice places, and very attractive investment environment, and Caucasus Mountains.
So what are the students, Indian students studying there?
Medicine, basically.
Medicine. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
By this flight back, May 27, and after they will go back to Georgia after everything is settled. Yeah. The summer Georgia is opening for a tourism.
Right.
Yeah,
So you are really a very good tourist destination, but there is no direct flight between India and Georgia. Do you think that it will be feasible if we can have a direct flight?
we have one only now, 27th of May. Very
Oh,
important
right.
thing. Okay, yes. But I hope it will follow because we were in a very intensive negotiations and we
Okay.
were very close to start the flight with Indigo. Yeah, but after for this reasons, it's will postponed, not cancelled, and hopefully any Indian carrier will start. And also, we should not remember. We should remember and should not forget that there are very important to have the cargo flights.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. So what Georgia is offering, it's a very good hub for the cargo flights. Uh,
Right.
the region or between Asia and Europe. So we are also negotiations to start because this pandemic showed us that cargo flight is very essential and important.
Right, sir. So
Also
you
maritime cooperation between the ports.
are considered to be one of the best countries in the world as far as business is concerned. Ease of business is very good in Georgia as far as I have studied and learned. So how do you make so easy for business in Georgia? What is so special about it?
So the question is how achieve the efficiency.
Right.
So we believe in Georgia is only through the comprehensive reforms and result oriented.
Right.
Uh, so the reforms shouldn't sound something weird that
Mm.
we are start reforming, but we can't achieve any results. So it should be the really result oriented. If you have the result oriented transformation, reforms, I think it's going to bring the desired effect and result.
Can you tell me two, 3 points, sir, that you have reformed and it is very attractive for FDI?
So I don't want to down any reforms, what because it's very
Two,
complex.
three,
It's a
two,
change.
three points, 2, 3 points, if you can tell me.
Yeah. So well, what it started, of course, from the police reform. Police was
Right.
very important. Security.
Okay.
After followed the tax reforms,
Right.
custom reforms to ease the business, and justice system reform and to
Okay.
prepare the business. So all of this chain helped us to achieve that levels. So what we have now, we have the non-corrupt environment when the country when you can start the business within one day.
One
Yes,
day.
one day. Yes, we have very pro business environment in the country. Uh,
Suppose I apply for any business, license, electricity, water, everything I can get in one day.
taxation.
Yeah. In taxation clearance.
Yes,
But forming a company, getting electricity clearance, water clearance, infrastructure clearance, it is also very easy there.
very easy.
Ah,
So actually, I can quote here because I mean I have also some papers about it. So I mean, if you look at it, you will see the starting business one day, as I said.
yeah.
Registration property one day also.
Okay.
Yeah. Getting construction permit. It
Okay.
depends around 60 days.
Okay.
Yes. Well, you asked about regarding the electricity, right?
Right.
Getting the electricity, it's around 70 days.
Okay.
Yes, and the number of tax payments, five.
5 days.
Yeah, 5 days. But you have to compare always. It was regarding getting the construction permit before was 153 days.
And what is the labor situation there? What is the labor reform that
Well,
you have?
skilled labor, very young,
Okay.
and especially that, of course, like what we are thinking, we can start the cooperation in the it's an IT sector because
Right.
we have very skilled companies also, and
Mm-hmm.
this is one of the and could be the one of the main direction, and we are working on it to establish the excellence centers.
Okay.
Yes.
So what is the cooperation between India and Georgia if you are very easy in business? Are Indian business going there?
Yes, yes, we have Indian business. We have the big corporation, and when you start something, you need a good example, right?
Right. Right.
You need the success story. So
Right.
business follow business. Business listens business. So we can bring many presentations, we can say many things, but what is important, what business is talking about. When the business go to Georgia, what is talking the other business. For that, what I said, it's a successful story from the Tata Group. So if
Tata.
Tata Group is successful and happy, everybody will be happy. And they
Okay.
listen their opinion, they will follow it. So it's also the chain reaction, right? So
Right.
we prepare, we present, but we are putting in the same time the result. So result is a Tata Group now, the successful story. So when
Hmm.
the other companies hear about it, they will understand that it's really happening. Georgia is really developing. Georgia is a really easy place to do the business.
What are you importing from India?
Ratings. If you look at the ratings, we are everywhere in the top, right? Worldwide.
Right. What are you importing from India?
But as I said, that our trade is not matching the level of the
Okay.
trade we have between us.
Okay.
Um, for the time being, mainly we are importing pharmaceuticals.
Okay.
It's a great help during the pandemic also,
Okay.
right?
Right.
It's
Right.
very important. We have some tobacco also from here, from India, goes to Georgia. Uh,
Right.
we have kind of textile, rice, even leather goes there.
Okay. Hmm.
So it's important. Yeah, but there's so many things, that we are talking about the compressors also. Yeah, some kind of gas compressors, other type of compressors, what we are importing.
Right.
But as I said, that we need more trade.
Right.
Yes, we need more trade and we need more interaction.
Are you getting enough opportunity to export in India? And what are the things that you are exporting?
Mhm. So for the time being, we are exporting to India the minerals, fertilizers, also chemical fertilizers.
Okay.
But the main product, our pride and our really historical achievement, I would say,
Right. Right.
we are making the wine. We are the cradle of wine worldwide.
Okay. Okay.
Basically, the wine started from Georgia, and I'm not saying that it's on the expert levels, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is what we want. This is what we want the product, the Indian wine, to be here. But I'm very optimistic and I'm very positive because whatever we did, the wine testing, whatever we introduced the Georgian wine, it was very well received by the
Okay.
wine lovers here
Okay.
in India. So I hope that we have a good future for that.
But
Uh,
India is importing wine from many countries. What is special about Georgian wine that India should import?
this page will be in your hearts because
Okay.
it's the Georgian wine. They really the wet also like a Georgian wine went through all of these times with us. I mean, we never stopped the winemaking. All of these trouble times, whatever happened, the production was always there, and so we are talking about the 8,000 years of wine production without any kind of interruption. So you see how is the quality.
Thank you so much, Ambassador, for this positive note. And everyone is expecting that, the past days,
Yes.
the way we were enjoying, the way we are talking to each other, meeting each other, hugging each other, shaking hands with each other, that day will come again. Thank you so much,
I'm
Ambassador.
sure. I'm sure. I wish you all the best. Thank you very much.